What's going on, everyone? It's your boy back at you again with another Tommy Reads X-Men. Today, we are looking at X-Men number 35 from August 1967, written by Roy Thomas, with art by Dan Adkins. This one is called Along Came a Spider. So guess who's in this? Well, we start off not with the X-Men training, like we normally do, although we have it for a few issues, but normally they do. Anyway, we start with the Banshee. Remember him? If you've seen X-Men First Class movie, then you probably remember him. But yeah, Banshee was back in a few issues ago, and he was possessed, blah, blah, blah. But now, he's on the lookout for Factor 3. This is going to be a Factor 3-centric issue, y'all. Finally! Finally! A little too excited. Yeah, I was at 8. We take it down to a 6. Anyway, so Factor 3, Banshee's looking for him in Europe. They don't say where, just Europe. In looking for Factor 3, Banshee runs into a mechanical spider that comes out of a mountain, so he must be close. So the spider and him, start to tussle a bit, and then the spider hits him with a paralyzing ray, only kind of grazes him. He's able to get away and Banshee out of there. Like, I can't scream high. I'm not Mariah Carey. Anyway, so he decides to go back to the base where he was set up and contact the X-Men. Now, we cut to the X-Mansion. The X-Men, after 2 issues, so seemingly 2 weeks, let's say, are just now getting around to looking for Papa Chuck. Now, who knows what happened to Charles? They don't say in this issue, spoiler, but we don't know. And the X-Men don't know. And they're only low-key kind of worried about it, I feel like, but Angel's, flying around. I don't know why he thought Papa Chuck would be close by. Like, if they assumed Factor 3 took him, they would have a base there? I don't know. Anyway, so Angel's flying around. He says he saw a flying saucer in the sky. And that's because when Banshee went to contact the X-Men, the spider, the robot spider, let's just go with that, robot spider, decided to follow the transmission. How? I don't know. I don't know radio waves or whatnot, but he went and the spider went and followed the transmission, and somehow it ended up close to the X-Mansion. Now, Banshee's delivering the message, and apparently the spider spaceship travels fast because he was still delivering the message, and the paralyzing rays get into him, and just before he passes out, all the X-Men get is this part of the message: beware the spider. That's all they got. Now, the spider wasn't going to them before Banshee started this message, so if he had just been like, I'm in trouble, here's my coordinates, then maybe it would have been a different story. But, as it was, it's not. So, just so happens that Peter Parker, our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, decides to get on his motorcycle. I don't know why motorcycles are like that. Anyway, gets on his motorcycle and take a drive out to the countryside. He ends up in Westchester by the X-Mansion. And suddenly, he's attacked. Parker Luck. Anyway, he's attacked, and he is attacked by the giant robot. Not giant. Why do I keep saying giant robot spider? I keep thinking of Wild Wild West. Anyway, so he's attacked by the robot spider, and they fight. And then it's going okay for Spider-Man, but the X-Men get the message, and they decide to investigate the flying saucer. Spider-Man being Spider-Man, he doesn't have too much trouble with the spider. I mean, he's fought Doc Ock, he's fought the Green Goblin. Some robot is not going to be that much problem for a seasoned vet like Spider-Man, who's probably been at the game a few years at this point. But the spider does get his licks in, and Spidey's left a little woozy or whatever. And that's when the X-Men show up. Now, the X-Men show up in a Rolls Royce, number one, because they took Papa Chuck's car, because I guess the X-Copter would be dumb, or the jet, or whatever. So they stole Papa Chuck's car. Thankfully, he left the keys by the drawer. And he was like, they ignore the spaceship that's right there, that's shaped like a mechanical spider, and they just assume that Spider-Man was the problem and the warning that Banshee was sending out, even though Spider-Man is there, and who knows where the heck Banshee is. So Spider-Man, no sooner is he like, hey, that the X-Men are like, attack! And the X-Men attack Spider-Man, and it don't go well for the X-Men. Let me tell you that for free. But so first, Angel taken out quick. Spider-Man's being real quippy, as he tends to do. but he knocks Angel into the river because there's always water around when the X-Men fight. For some reason, the X-Men are always getting knocked into water, especially Angel and Iceman and Beast. But this time it was Angel. Then Beast comes in and he tries to out-quip Spider-Man. You gonna do him like that, son? No. Spider-Man's the quip king. So he quipped and quip and thwip. That should be one of the titles of his many comics. Anyway, so Hank gets taken out quickly too. So at the same time this is happening, same time X-Men are getting hands put on him, Jean's rummaging through Papa Chuck's papers, and she finds a letter or a note or something that that he wrote about Factor 3, particularly about the Banshee, and how just so happens he put a communicator or a slash tracking device in the Banshee's helmet. Now, whether the Banshee knew about this or not, spoiler, he did not know about this, because if he did, why wouldn't he just boom, hit the communicator, X-Men come help me? But instead he wanted to, use a little ticker tape or, SOS or Morse code or whatever. And that takes a long time, I'm assuming. And he didn't know about it, but then Jean uses it, and I don't know, she somehow figures out how to turn it on or something like that. So they have a lead on where the Banshee is. Cut to Spider-Man, who's still whooping on the X-Men, and he's like, what is your guys' problem? And then in his bloop, 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 he's like, man, I was just here for a little drive, and now all this nonsense. Thank God I packed my costume, because for reasons. But anyway, Angel starts playing it off like the X-Men are taking it easy on Spider-Man. They're like, no more holding back or whatever. Come on, man. You don't have to save face like that. He's whipping you guys, 5 of you, 1 of him, and you're barely getting a scratch on him. But Cyclops just cuts to the chase. He's like, are you with Factor 3? Or sorry, his voice like this, like, are you with Factor 3? Optic Blast. Except for he didn't Optic Blast. That's just what his voice sounds like to me. Anyway, so are you with Factor 3? And he's like, Factor who? And as that's happening, coincidentally at the same time, Jean zaps Scott with a mind message. Be like, Papa Chuck, Banshee, helmets, stop. And so he's like, oh, okay. Spider-Man, my bad, son. Our bad. And then when Hank goes to apologize as well, he's like, Spider-Man's like, just save it, guys. He's really pissed off. And the X-Men get in their Rolls Royce and leave. And Spider-Man's like, rich man, you rich boys, come here and pick a fight with me and leave. I'm heading back to New York where it's safe. And the X-Men go back to the X-Mansion. They prepare to go to Europe for Factor 3. And Cyclops, who insisted for some reason Jean stay when they went to go investigate the flying saucer. Now, they say he's trying to protect her or whatever, but I mean, the other X-Men always seem to get in trouble, and Jean's the last line of defense. So maybe that was it, but I somehow doubt it. Anyway, he's like, Jeannie, you should really stay here. And she's like, I'm an X-Men, okay? Thank you, but I'm part of the team. I'm going to fight. And in her bloop bloop, she's like, oh, he just wants to protect me because I love him. And I don't know, man. I guess so, but why not include her? You know what I mean? She's always, like I said, last line of defense. She's the one who ends up holding everybody up, the bad guys off, while the rest of the team, gets their wits about him after being knocked around. I don't know. She's a value member of the team. Scott don't seem to think so, or he's being too chivalrous to the point of well, why are you singling her out? I don't want to go to Europe, Iceman. And yeah. But anyway, that was the end of issue. End of issue. Let me hit you with some final thoughts. All right, y'all. This one, I'm going to give about a 7 out of 10. Yeah, 7 out of 10. It was a simple premise, and if you've ever read a Marvel team-up, with Spider-Man and a random person, or a Marvel 2-in-1 with The Thing and another person, they all kind of go like this, where the two heroes meet, there's some kind of mix-up or some kind of misunderstanding, they razz it up and tussle a bit, and then they end up working together to, fight the real bad guy who's pulling the strings. This one didn't have a real bad guy, although Factor 3 is in the background, but it was awesome to see Spider-Man in a cameo. Spider-Man, you can never go wrong. And it was pretty good action. Factor 3 is the 8th month mentioning them, but they got mentioned a lot in this issue, so we are picking up a little steam on this, not just one panel mentions every now and again. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get some resolution pretty soon. If I was reading in 1967, I'd be frustrated as hell and wanted to know what this Factor 3 deal is, but I'm not. I'm in 2021, March to be specific, in case you're watching this at a later date in the future. 7 out of 10. Pretty good issue. If you like what you see and are mildly entertained, please like and subscribe down here. Hit that bell notification in the corner somewhere. I don't know exactly where it is. If this is your first time watching, thank you for tuning in, checking me out. If you like comic book reviews, food reviews, different pop culture stuff, movies, books, this is the channel for you. If this is your 15th, 50th, 75th time watching, which is weird because we don't have 75 videos on the channel yet, I appreciate you. Thank you. Check us out next week for another Tommy Reads X-Men. We'll be looking at X-Men number 36. This has been issue 35. Later.